Socialism is an economic doctrine that calls for public rather than private ownership or control of property and natural resources. Individuals in society work in cooperation with one another. Everyone who contributes to the production of a good is entitled to share it. This idea was appealing to the lower class because it would bridge the gap between the rich and the poor. Karl Marx was the most influential socialist. Socialism is theoretically more stable than capitalism because there is no public ownership and it's all private. However, socialism never stuck anywhere until the 19th century because the middle class and the development of social classes fed capitalism. However, socialism stuck with Russia as they industrialized, as they were the sole absolute monarchy with no parliament, no political parties, and no elections.
Communism is both an ideology and a movement dedicated to establish a society in which there is collective ownership of property and means of production, and an absence of social classes. A more recent precursor to communism is socialism, which emerged during the early 80s and contained many of the basic tenets of the communism, such as social ownership. Communism and socialism are sometimes used interchangeably and both stand in opposition to capitalism. However, socialism believes everyone receives resources based on their input, where communism thinks everyone receives resources based on their need. And also, socialism considers everyone owns the control, but communism thinks the resources are owned by the government. For example, China officially became a communist nation in 1949 when the Red Army defeated the Kuomintang.
Capitalism is a type of economic system which is defined as a private or corporate ownership of business, factories, offices, and shipping enterprises. In this system, effects in the market determine the system in which goods are made and the way by which most money and profit are distributed. Citizens, not governments, own and run most companies, which compete with other companies for business. Some of the larger countries that use capitalism are the United States and Canada. Capitalism shares some similarity to mercantilism through profit motivation, utilization of exchange value, and corporate power.
Mercantilism is a system in which government controls national economy. Features include controlling a favorable balance of trade, development of agriculture, establishment of monopolies and foreign trade, and accumulation of bullions. It is associated with Europe and the European power grab. And it is similar to capitalism, however, they are different because mercantilism opposes a free market because they want all economic decisions to enrich the country, whereas capitalism gives more individual economic freedom, expecting that would give individuals purchasing power, which would enrich the economy. The main difference is now capitalism is generally accepted and utilized, but mercantilism is rarely seen in present day.
This video is dedicated to Mr. Johnson.